What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cosmic Wonder. We've gotten a lot of reports about Avengers Doomsday and what the plot could be over the last few months. And if even a fraction of what we've been hearing is true, this movie is going to be crazy, in which it needs to be. It needs to take full advantage of the multiverse while we're still in the multiverse saga. Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, already confirmed after Avengers Secret Wars, the MCU timeline is going to reset. And we probably won't deal too much with the multiverse after that, at least not for a while, because they're going to have to set up the new X-Men, the new Avengers, because they also said they're going to recast Iron Man and Captain America eventually. So Doomsday needs to go full out with the multiverse. The same thing goes for Secret Wars. But with everything we've been hearing about Avengers Doomsday, there seemed to be one link missing from the overall plot that we've been putting together from all the reports. But a new report seemingly gives us that missing link. You see, in the past, we've heard that in Avengers Doomsday, after everything is said and done, it all is going to eventually lead to Loki and the TVA. A lot is going to happen in Avengers Doomsday. We have the X-Men from one universe, we have the Fantastic Four from another universe, of course we have the Avengers from the main 616 Sacred Timeline. Then we have Doctor Doom, who's probably going to go to many different universes, and if what we've been hearing is true, and considering what we got for the Fantastic Four post-credit scene, it most likely is true. Doctor Doom is going to be traveling the multiverse with Franklin Richards, the son of Reed and Sue of the Fantastic Four. So that's already a pretty decent use of the multiverse. And we've heard that there's going to be a pretty big multiversal battle at the TVA once Doctor Doom and once the Avengers get there. But that one piece that's been missing is how the Avengers find out about the TVA, and even after they find out about the TVA, how do they get there? How do they manage to get outside of space and time? Now, with the Avengers team, and I'm saying Avengers as in all of the good characters that are going to be in Avengers Doomsday, not specifically the real Avengers inside of the MCU, but we have the Avengers with Mr. Fantastic, the smartest man alive, and we also have Doctor Strange, who has definitely learned a lot about the multiverse and Multiverse of Madness, and who knows when we're going to get Doctor Strange 3, but we know that story is going to continue on either in Doctor Strange 3 or Avengers Doomsday, whichever comes first, and it's looking like, right now at least, Avengers Doomsday will come before Doctor Strange 3. So he'll learn a little bit about the multiverse. However, I don't think this is how the characters are going to find out about the TVA. I think Loki is going to recruit all of the heroes, the Avengers, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, etc., to fight against Doom. He's going to try and recruit them to save basically himself, which in turn is going to save the entire multiverse. Plus, it sounds like Doom hates the TVA because of what Kang did, but we'll get into that in just a bit. According to this new report, Doctor Doom is going to completely destroy the TVA in Avengers Doomsday. This is coming from the insider James Mack, who has been reporting a lot about Avengers Doomsday. This isn't confirmed, of course, so take it with a grain of salt, but according to him, Doctor Doom will completely destroy the TVA in Avengers Doomsday. He also states that there will be a death of an Avenger as a form of sacrifice to save Sylvie. And here's where it gets pretty interesting. He states, in the film, the TVA will assemble a team of variant heroes, including Captain Carter, Deadpool, Wolverine, and Laura Kinney, X-23. According to these reports, Sylvie is going to be guiding the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men on matters related to the TVA, to the Void, and to Loki. This is the missing link that we have been waiting for. Somebody from the TVA, somebody from Loki's team reaching out to the Avengers, telling them what's happening and how to get to the TVA. And in this case, I imagine it is actually physically taking them to the TVA. Because one thing that we have been wondering about for a while now is Loki's involvement with Avengers Doomsday. Based on the ending of Loki Season 2, Loki can seemingly look into any universal branch that is connected to him. After all, he's keeping literally every individual branch alive. But it also seems like he physically has to stay there at the Citadel on his throne, connected to every branch in order for them to stay alive, because at the end of Loki Season 2, he grabs one branch, it comes to life, he lets go, it dies. So it seems like he has to physically be touching the branches. But Loki is the one who can see Doctor Doom because he can look into these other universes. So what does he do? How does he get involved? How does he warn the Avengers? Sylvie is the answer to that. It makes total sense that Sylvie, along along with everybody else at the TVA, Mobius, Ouroboros, B-15, etc. They would be alerted by Loki as to what is going on, and they would be sort of charged with assembling a protective group, or a multiversal Avengers team. And who would they look to? Well, Deadpool and Wolverine, who basically saved the entire multiverse in Deadpool and Wolverine. Somebody that at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine came face to face with each other, B-15 and Deadpool and Wolverine. And don't forget, the TVA did do that favor for Deadpool and brought back X-23, Gambit, Blade, and Elektra. We didn't see Blade and Elektra on screen, but considering that they brought back X-23 and Gambit, we assume they brought back the others as well. Whether they're going to be in Doomsday or not, that remains to be seen. But we know Gambit is confirmed for the movie. And we saw X-23 at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine, so this team with them and Captain Carter makes sense. This could be the Captain Carter from the very end of What If, but we'll have to wait and see on that. So this is the multiversal team according to this report. From there, Sylvie will get in contact with the Avengers. Why? Well, because Thor, Loki's brother, is a part of the Avengers team. This makes perfect sense. And from there, she'll tell everybody what Doom's real plan is, and that is eventually to get to the TVA and probably dethrone Loki. We've heard a lot of reports about Dr. Doom, but we still don't really know what his primary goal is yet. Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus says that Doom is going to believe himself to be the hero, which is how it is in the comics, and maybe he thinks he could rule the multiverse better than Loki, and that's why he wants to dethrone him, and in doing so he actually destroys the multiverse. We'll have to wait and see on that. But as far as why he wants to end up at the TVA, we've heard a report in the past that says Doom is actually pretty pissed off at Kang for creating the TVA and secluding the sacred timeline. By this logic, Kang could have possibly secluded the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and Dr. Doom himself from that universe. And using the TVA, he has prevented the multiverse from existing, and essentially has prevented what Loki was trying to get the entire time: free will. So according to a previous report, Doom's pretty pissed off at this, and that would explain why he wants to destroy the TVA. And let's remember that really nobody knows anything about Loki, because their Loki, the main 616 Loki, really did die. So even Thor doesn't know about our current variant of Loki. Most people, if they heard that Loki is the one who is kind of the ruler of the multiverse at the time, they'll most likely believe that Loki is bad. This is why Sylvie is such an important character, along with the other characters from the TVA. They have to explain everything to our Avengers to make them understand what is really happening here. The TVA is good, Loki is good, he's holding it all together, Doom is the threat. But considering Doom is pissed off at Kang and what he did with the TVA, he's probably going to hear that Loki is in charge of everything and automatically think it's basically the same thing Kang was doing. In his mind, Loki is probably a villain, and he sees now a villain in charge of essentially the multiverse. So he seeks to destroy the TVA and Loki. But that's where the multiversal Avengers team comes in, and that's where our main Avengers team comes in. And when I say main Avengers team, I'm talking the actual two different Avengers teams, the Thunderbolts and Sam Wilson's Avengers. They'll be joined by the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, some of the leaders of Wakanda and Talokan, so Shuri as the Black Panther and Namor, and then this multiversal Avengers team with Deadpool and Wolverine, X-23, Captain Carter, and Sylvie. This will be our gigantic Avengers team going against Dr. Doom to try and save the TVA and try to save Loki and essentially the multiverse. But from what it sounds like, they fail, and the entire TVA gets destroyed, Loki gets dethroned, and the multiverse gets destroyed as well. But that's pretty much what we expected to happen at the end of Avengers Doomsday if we're going to get to Battleworld and Avengers Secret Wars. So this doesn't come as a big shock that this is probably how Doomsday is going to end, once again with the Avengers losing like they did in Infinity War. But now we kind of have that missing link of how the Avengers team finds out about the TVA and how they get to the TVA. Sylvie, directed by Loki, most likely leads them there. And plot-wise, this does make a lot of sense, and I do like the idea of having a multiversal Avengers team. That would be making good use of the multiverse. But go ahead, let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Avengers Doomsday news, rumors, or leaks. You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.